Hey, it's David Perdue from MyNAMS.com and the Novice to Advanced Marketing System. And we have a special guest today to talk to us about one of my favorite topics. And I have to tell you, this was not my favorite topic about 4 years ago, because I thought this was going to be something that I was not going to get involved in, was Infusionsoft. Because I thought, it just doesn't make any sense for me. I'm a small business guy, and I don't really need all this stuff. Well, we've had Infusionsoft for 2 years, maybe more now, Jen. Is that right? Maybe more than 2 years.
We'll be right on 2 years at the end of the year this year.
And it has made the biggest difference in our lives ever. And so one of the reasons is that we're going to talk about automation today. That's what we do. Now, I'm going to kind of spill the beans here really quickly, in that an example of how we like to automate is, and Darin, you'll love this, we have, is it 6 campaigns running this weekend, Jennifer, for special deals for different segments of our list, depending on what they're interested in?
Yep.
Yeah, so Darin, I'm sure that we'll get into some opportunities to talk about how awesome that is, but we have Darin Adams with us, who is an Infusionsoft representative and one of our favorite people from NAMS. He's not a great singer, but he likes to sing from the stage anyway. So here we go. Darin, welcome.
Gosh, thanks. I don't think I've ever been quite introduced that same way of someone saying, he's not a great singer, but anyway. No, I am just telling you too. I always tell people how much I love NAMS. I love going to NAMS events, and of all the events I go to, and I go to a lot, there is nothing like NAMS for this wonderful family feel where everybody's everybody's friend, and it's just a great feeling. I just love the camaraderie at NAMS.
Well, I'm glad you like it, because you have to do it virtually with us from this point forward until we have some other special events in the works.
See, you're like dangling that carrot out there, like teasing people, like, "Ooh, what other special things could be in the works?" And now everyone's all excited.
Yeah, we keep our options open.
Good.
So, Darin, before you get started, if somebody could just let me know in the chat box that you can see us and that you can hear us okay. I see that we've got a handful of people online with us, but nobody has responded to me yet. So I would really like to know that. There we go. Okay. Just wanted to make sure we weren't talking to air. All right, Darin, you are good to go to take this show away.
I want to show you guys. Do you see this right here? Do you have any? Normally I wear this on my wrist. So because of that, do you have any guess on where I went this last summer? Any thoughts?
Some kind of fitness program.
Oh no, you know me better than that. I wouldn't have anything to do with the fitness program.
It was a wild guess.
This is a magic band, I think that's what they call it, from Disney World. So wow. If you go to Disney World, they give you this little magic band and you put it on, and it's really cool. It acts as a whole bunch of different things. So this whole summer, it was the highlight of the family summer trip. We all got to go to Disney World. We got to go down there. You can see a couple of the kids even have their magic bands on. You wear this everywhere you go in Disney World. It is the key to your hotel room. You swipe it by your lock and you can get in. You can buy things with this. You swipe it by a cash register and you can buy anything you want with this. But also Disney does some other phenomenal things with this. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a second. So I had started the plans for Disney World like months ahead of time. My kids have been bugging me. I said, okay. So I started looking into it online, started doing some research. And then magically, some ads started appearing on the, on the side of my screen, my Facebook feed says, hey, take a trip to Disney World. Like somehow they magically know this about me, that I'm thinking about this. And sure as shooting, sure enough, I call up, I book a trip, I say, okay, we're coming to Disney World, and we get there. And literally 2 days before we take off, 2 days, they send me a booklet in the mail that says, in this book, it's like a real book, it says, The Addams Family's Incredible Vacation. And it has like the incredible people on the front. And it's personalized for us. And then I look inside the book and it says, you're going to be staying at the Pop Century Resort. It knows what hotel I'm staying at. And it says, while you're there, you've got to go to these gift shops and you've got to do these activities and you got to do this certain stuff. So my daughter is reading through it, and sure enough, as soon as she sees that, as soon as we get to Pop Century, guess what she has to do? She has to go to the store. She goes straight to the store that the little marketing told her to do. They targeted her. They knew what we were doing, where we were going to be, and they targeted us with exactly that. And she ended up buying her Stitch pillow pet and texted me a photo of it while she's on the plane on the way home. So they were able to target us, know exactly who we were, know what we wanted, know where we were, know what we were thinking, and they were able to get money out of us because of that. Then it says, the whole booklet says, hey, when you're going to be in Magic Kingdom, you got to go to Gaston's Tavern and get LeFou's brew. So look, we buy into that. We go to Gaston's Tavern, we get LeFou's brew. Once again, they knew where we were going to be. They knew what we were interested in. They knew how they could target us, and they got money out of us for that as well. This is the whole idea of targeting someone, attracting people in certain different areas. We're then finished with the whole vacation. And I know you're getting bored with my family vacation stories, but we're on the bus. We're going back to the airport. We're riding to the airport. And in the bus, there are these TV screens that drop down from the top. And on the TV screen, there's this little video playing that says, oh, we're so glad you came to Disney World. I'm like, yes, I'm glad. They said, we don't want you to leave. I'm like, no, I don't want to leave. I said, the Disney magic can continue. I say, let it continue. They say, come on a Disney cruise with us. Be part of the Disney vacation club or whatever. I'm like, yes, it was right when they knew that we loved them the most, when we were at our peak of our satisfaction, when we were just loving everything about Disney. Then they targeted us again. They were able to market us. They were able to sell to us. I didn't buy a cruise and I didn't buy a vacation club, but you get the whole idea here. They know when they can target somebody. Then here's the best part about this little band thing. Disney can wow you like nobody's business. I dare anyone to go on a Disney vacation and not be impressed somewhere along the way. Our first impression, when we were overly impressed, came when we were on It's a Small World ride. So the Small World ride, you're in these little boats and you're sailing through, it's all these different countries, international stuff. And just as we're leaving, coming out of the ride, there's some signs, and all the signs say different countries like au revoir, auf Wiedersehen, ciao, arrivederci, whatever it might be. And there are the signs all there as you're leaving, your boat's coming out. And all of a sudden, I looked at that one sign on the right there, and it says, goodbye, Brooklyn Christie Baxter and Darin. It has our names. It has our names. Like, we were totally freaked out. It knew where we were and totally impressed us. The little smart bands track everywhere you are. Wow. And then if you're on certain rides, they have personalized signs that can pop up. And it targets you wherever you might be so that you're totally like, wow, look at that. That's the Disney magic. That is what Disney does so much better than anybody else can. They have this marketing machine where they can target people, they can attract certain people, they can sell to them at the exact right times, and then they wow them and go above and beyond. And it's this marketing that we think is only like Disney-centric, that only Disney people can use it. But those same principles, everybody can use. That's what Infusionsoft is all about. We're all about attracting more customers and targeting those people for you, selling to those people and automating that so it happens automatically, and then wowing people so you take care of them after the fact. I heard a statistic just a couple weeks ago. The majority of people leave a business. They're not true to whatever it is, a car dealership, a grocery store, or whatever. They're not true because of apathy. They just feel like they don't care. And that's what the wow part is there. So this is part of the whole beauty of Infusionsoft, using automation that is out there, technology and tricks and techniques to do the same thing that Disney does to be wildly successful, that every single business can use some of those same kind of things. So David, as I've been doing that, anything pop into your mind while you're thinking, oh yeah, we sort of use Infusionsoft to attract, or we sell, or we wow, or maybe Jen, anything pop into your mind while I've been doing some of that?
Oh, I think it's the wow piece that popped into my mind. We got a lot of work to do in the wow. The attracting and the selling has been really working out, and we've been delivering a lot of good training. But I see that we have some work to do in the wow piece of it, and I know that we can do it because of the automation we have in place with people. We're beginning to know enough about our people that we can actually interact with them on a personal level. That's the part that I love.
Got it.
Well, and Darin, I told you specifically for this presentation, we know who our folks are that are really serious about their business. And I didn't send this invitation out to our entire list because it would have been a waste of their time and it would have been a waste of yours. But we know the people that are really serious, and only those people got this email because we know what those behaviors are and we know what the actions are that they are able to that they are doing inside of our system.
Yeah. So, and that's exactly what Infusionsoft lets you do. So you're not blasting everybody on your list with the same information, and some people don't care about it, and they're like, oh, yet another email. They can't hit the delete button fast enough. So now when you can specifically, as you were able to do just with this webinar, inviting people to this, you know exactly which people are going to benefit from this the most, and you get them in, and and you're not doing it to target people or identify. You're doing it to help the people that are most in need of what you can offer at that time, right?
Oh, it's about communication, right? I mean, what we're trying to do is talk to people about something they're interested in.
Yeah. Okay. That's what it is. And that's just the whole point of the next few minutes is helping everybody out there to understand how to automate that communication, how to make that communication more effective than it could possibly be. And some people think, oh, automation, that can never be effective communication because it's automated. It is the most effective because it allows you to communicate with more people and doing it in the most effective way. And
efficient too. So that's
Okay. We'll jump through a couple of these phases. So the 3 phases we were talking about that Disney does so well, the attract, the sell, the wow. We'll start with attract because a lot of businesses out there, that's one of the biggest challenges I hear from people is, I need to attract more customers. I need to get a bigger database. I need to do something. And they say that, but yet, on the other hand, they're doing absolutely nothing to do that except just hoping something magically happens. Like they're going to wake up some morning and all of a sudden they're going to have, a bunch more people in their database that somehow have opted in. So attract breaks down into 3 different areas. Targeting is the first thing that we really need to talk about. Infusionsoft, really, for those who might not know, is a way to manage your database and turn your database into money. So you've got this large database or small database, whatever it might be for you, and the size of your database really doesn't dictate if you're going to be successful or not. It's what you're doing. I've seen people that have a database of less than 100 who are really successful, and we all know people who have a database of 10,000 who are struggling and trying to get any traction. So it's not the size of your database, but what you're doing with it. So with Infusionsoft, you're able to target the people and you're able to tag them. So you go into your database and you say, here are the people who are, and everyone who's listening to this and watching this is coming from different backgrounds and different businesses. So we'll try to talk abstractly in general terms, but you can apply it for whatever it might be. So if you were to break down the people in your list, what's the information that would help you the most? Maybe people who have bought before and people who haven't bought before, because you're going to use different words to those people. Maybe people over the age of 50 or under the age of 50, or men versus women, people who live here, people who live there. And now with Infusionsoft, you can tag them differently so that you can create this message that goes out to men over 50 who have bought some kind of product from you before. And then this campaign goes out to women under 40 or millennial women who, never really had much experience. And you can do that as many different ways as you want. Like Jen was saying, Dave was saying, 6 different campaigns that you guys have got going, and you can do that because you've targeted different people and you've tagged them. There is no other service out there. There's no other email provider. You can't do that with MailChimp and Constant Contact to have the real in-depth tagging that you can. And the more specific your tags are, the better you can target. Can I, David or John, I don't know which one of you, can you even tell me a little bit about what some of the tags you apply to people that are advantageous and helpful for you in sending out campaigns and doing stuff?
Go for it, Jen.
So this is great. Actually, we just had this conversation yesterday. As people run through different campaigns in our system, it took me a while to learn this because I was tagging everybody. And all of a sudden, I was ending up, everybody had 1 million tags. And I was like, well, okay, well, this doesn't really benefit me to have everybody have all of these different tags. And so what I learned how to do, though, was as people come in to the system, they get tagged. Then as they accomplish specific tasks within that campaign, tags get removed and new tags get added until there's a completion of the whole process. So that, let's say that throughout the whole course of a campaign, I added 5 tags to them, but if they completed the whole campaign, all 5 of those prospect tags get removed and they get a completion tag. And that tells me they made it through the entire campaign. And now I don't want to ever show them that exact campaign again, but because I know they made it through the whole campaign, it tells me that their interest level is there to put them into something that is relevant that is maybe another product that might serve them a little better.
And so here's where this really got exciting for us yesterday. Jennifer tagged me. She hit me on Skype and said, I've done some numbers, and we have 4 products we can promote this month to 4 different segments. And here's the numbers. 898 people in this product have not seen this product. 12,000 people haven't seen this product. And she was able to go through the specific number of people and that list of people who needed to take a look at a product that we had not been able to put in front of them previously. And we can only do that because she's doing the tagging this way.
Well, and what I love about it is that with the conversation that we had earlier last week was, we need to release a product. We want to make sure that we're putting new, fresh stuff out there all the time. Well, but wait a minute. Why do I need to create a product when I got 4 products right here that have really good funnels in place, that have really good upsells in place, that every time we put this product out, our conversions are over 20%. So why wouldn't I go back to it and say, well, wait a minute, who hasn't seen this product? Because if you're doing it right, you're adding new people to your list all the time that never get in front of those, like the one-time product launch kind of thing. And so what it has allowed me to do is create like these little mini launches in the background that I have new content or new contacts constantly running through. And that's what I love is that, I love coming to work every day and seeing overnight that we've taken revenue on products that
we hadn't sold in a while.
Yeah, we hadn't sold in a while because we have the automation in place to do that.
So Jennifer's talking a lot about features here, Darin, but I'll give you the benefit. We had our biggest month in a year last month, and it's because we've been able to do this tagging and doing the mini launches that we've been talking about. So there you go.
See, and that's what this is all about. I mean, that's what it's growing a business and doing it automation. You guys are such great examples of that. I love that you learn these different things and you employ these different things and you're successful for it. That makes us so happy at Infusionsoft when we see that.
Well, we can't do it without you either because we've learned it. We've learned the system. And we know how to use the system, and it's all about being open-minded enough to realize that this thing is so powerful that the strategy behind it, once you get the strategy behind it, the rest of it is just details, and there's not a lot of details once you learn the system. Jennifer's done a great job of simplifying, as we do with everything else, and it is, you understand everything and you probably do things wrong in the beginning, and then you realize that you just simplify it and it makes it so much easier.
Okay, well, you guys are great at that. Let me jump on to the next. The whole idea to remember in this is that if you sell to everyone, you sell to no one. Wow, my screen got sort of garbled up there, so it's like a word jumble that you have to solve yourself. And this is what Dave and Jen are so masterful at, is knowing exactly who to try to sell to. You're not selling, you've got a specific product right here and you've identified certain people because you're targeting those people and you know exactly like some specific guy and what they're interested in and how they could benefit from that product, and that's who you target. And you don't target everybody on the entire list because then nothing ever happens. So be able to track the behavior of people. We'll get to that a little more on that in a second on the education campaigns. Another thing you got to do is you got to attract interest. This is one of the key things that you have to do as you're gathering names into your database and trying to grow your business and trying to grow your list. We often think of these as like some kind of a lead magnet that you might have some free product. My hope is that everybody has a lead magnet, at least something, and you exchange that lead magnet in exchange for the person's contact information because you're going to take that person and put them into your database. And a lot of people say, oh, lead magnets don't work anymore. Lead magnets work if you have the right lead magnet. Right. So make it something that's worth. I tell people, if someone's willing to pay money for it and you offer it free, that's a good lead magnet. Don't offer them, a free, newsletter each month because that sometimes isn't the greatest. I don't know, maybe a free consultation, maybe a free book, something that's real, something that's tangible. Someone says, that's great. And Infusionsoft is in the business of helping you exchange that lead magnet for that person's contact information. So we aid in you have something on your website or through social media or whatever, and saying, hey, I'm offering this free consultation or free half hour of my time or whatever it might be. And then someone says, I want that. They type that in. That goes in the database. Infusionsoft helps you capture that information, put it into a campaign immediately, send out whatever you're offering, and then have the follow-up. You're not just trying to give out free stuff. The whole point is to take that person's contact information and to turn them into money. Right. So your lead magnet is helping you attract that interest. Make sure, as I tell people, make sure it's something valuable, and you're going to get it to someone in a timely manner so that you can turn that person into a lead, because that's the third part of this, is to collect the lead of that. So I remember I was dealing with some guy who had some free lead. He had a free book. It was like a real book, a free tangible book, and he was just like giving it out to people. I think he was at some expo or whatever. I'm like, don't be an idiot. He wasn't collecting any leads. I mean, like, that's the whole point, that you've got that, is to get someone's contact information. Don't think that just because, hey, here's a book, that they're going to come do business with you. They might, but they probably won't. So you've got to collect the lead from that person. This is how business is done in 2016. You've got to capture leads. You've got to stick them in a campaign. You've got to nurture that person along. They're not going to be, you hand them the book, they're not going to be ready to do business with you right then. But they will be ready a year down the road or 2 years down the road. So the whole point is to capture that lead, stick them in your database, and then just drip on them so that eventually they're finally ready. That's the whole point with attracting. So that's our first phase of this here, is attracting and targeting and getting more people into your database, whether it's doing it virtually through your website and social media, whether it's doing physical ways, you're getting business cards and taking pictures with your phone and those names are going in, whatever it might be, you're getting those leads, you're sticking them in, and you have those people tagged and you're targeting them because they're going to try to give you money. So that's the first third of this in the attract, sell, wow. That's the attract.
And before you go on, I wanted to say one thing about the physical piece of this, because this gets so overlooked, because people think, oh, it's all about doing it online. But you guys have an app that you put on your phone, and you collect business cards. So your example of the guy with the book, all he had to do was collect the business cards from the people, and he could just, and I've used this a lot, especially at events, and I love this. You just collect the business cards in exchange for whatever it is, you take a picture of it, and your app actually converts that into leads into your system. So you can tag them immediately from your phone as well.
Yeah, so I mean, a simple thing like a smartphone. You just take a picture of a business card, and boom, it's called Snap. That's why I'm snapping. Snap, yeah. that fast. Name goes in, emails go out, and it's part of the campaign. So if someone's at home and they're watching this and they have some kind of a lead magnet, but it's not being effective, you're either the wrong lead magnet or you're doing it wrong. And don't be thinking of, like, I don't know how many business cards you've collected over the course of time. Business cards are great if you do something with them. Yeah. So make sure you're doing something with them. I have 8 billion business cards that I've never done anything with. Those are the bad business cards. The good business cards are the ones that you just snap the picture of, boom, 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 like magic.
Well, what's really important too, I think about this and capturing the lead and knowing their behaviors. We ran a program about 6 or 8 months ago that we had over a third of the buyers, and it was a high-end product. It was over $1,000, and over a third of the people who bought it had never bought from us before, but had been on our list for over a year and had been taking it in and had been engaging. And I could see that they were engaging because of their click activity, what they were reading, what they were opening, but they had never bought one of our own products. But then when it came down to it and we offered a $1,000 product and put it in front of them, they bought, because we had used that opportunity to really build the know, like, and trust relationship with them.
Yep.
Yeah, I love it. In fact, that sort of segues naturally and beautifully into the second phase. We've got the attract, and the second part is the sell. And when you break that into 3 different areas, that most important one is that first one, that educate. It was exactly what Jen was talking about. you don't know exactly who might buy. You can gauge their interest. Infusionsoft lets you build these really phenomenal, robust campaigns and funnels and systems so that you can track someone's behavior. They come in and, like Jen was saying, they do step number 1. Well, that applies a tag that they did that. They do step number 2. Oh, that takes off that tag and puts that tag on. They do step number 3. Oh, that takes that and puts that on. And now it's moving them through the funnel at a different place. Now, if somebody's down in a different part and they're not doing any of those, you don't give up on them. I mean, just because my kid and I tell them to clean the bathroom and they ignore me the first time, it doesn't mean I give up and say, okay, you don't have to clean the bathroom. I just keep nagging at them over and over and over. I mean, that's what we do with these kids. So you just move them along to a different part of the campaign, and little by little, sooner or later, they get closer to cleaning the bathroom, or your customers get closer to making some kind of purchase. Exactly like that. All those people, the third of the people who had never bought before, you can get them into a campaign, into a little funnel here, and you nurture them along. And you just drip on them, just little by little, and you stay on top of mind, and you ask them to do things. And if they do them, you can monitor that. This is what's so beautiful about Infusionsoft. You can't do those things with MailChimp and Aweber and Constant Contact. Some of those systems out there, you cannot build these kind of campaigns that will monitor them, will track them and tag them, will continue to educate them, and move them along until they're ready. The second part, I got to remind you that people buy when they're ready, not when you're ready. This is what you guys totally were. You're perfect examples of this from the third of the people who bought from you, who had never bought before, and you're probably thinking these people are never going to buy. But no, they just weren't ready, and eventually they get there. Okay, so the offer part is the critical part. This is what you guys did that got a third of those people to sign up. This is what an Infusionsoft database looks like, because we're talking about some of these things like tags and whatnot. So you can see the names of the people in the database. There's their contact information. This is what you exchanged your lead magnet for, or you took a picture with your business card, however you got that contact information. On the far side of the screen are the little tags, different things. And you can have all sorts of different tags. They can identify different people in different ways and can show how likely they are to buy this product or what they're interested in. But then that middle column where it has called the lead score, this helps you measure how hot a lead is. And those different flames, you trigger those flames to light up when different things happen. So maybe they come to your website and that makes a flame light up. And Jen sends out an email and says, watch this video. Oh, they watch the video. And she says, hey, go do this, click this little thing. And then that triggers a little flame to light up. And so now this is exactly what she was saying, are the different flames that light up. That shows you how someone is progressing along. So you can track them and you know exactly how likely they are to be doing things. And then when the right flames light up, boom, you send an email out saying, hey, we've got this $1,000 product that we think would be perfect for what you're doing and what you're interested in. And they're like, yes, that's exactly what I need. And you were the one who just took them by the hand and walked them along to get to that point. Do you guys have something more to offer to talk about that and how you track that and what you do to get your sales converted at the right time? Not necessarily.
We don't use Jen, go.
I don't use the lead score on here at all. And I was sitting here as you were going through this trying to figure out how in the world to use it, because I was like, oh my God, I am totally missing out on this. And
that's why we were a little stunned here.
I'm like, really?
What we do though is based on the tagging system, we create segments. And the segments are the things that help us the most. And but boy, from a lead score perspective here, I can see that we got to take a hard look at that.
So what I do is we actually create some reports that everybody filters through, and we have it's called an engagement report that we use. And so that way, and it's measured based on email opens and on clicks. And that way, when we're looking at trying to build out some campaigns, first off, I typically start with my engagement report first. Before I ever start digging down, I start with that. And what I do is, we do like a blog post every week. So I send that to our entire list, because what that's done is by putting the blog out there with just the content, that has increased our engagement because we're putting nurture content out there. So people that typically maybe don't open our emails have started opening the blog content emails. So that's increased our engagement score. And I think, ultimately long term, we get higher deliverability rates and blah, 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 blah. But so I use that as my first step into creating my reports for our segmentation why would I start sending emails to people that don't talk to us? And so we use kind of a 90-day, 120-day. Sometimes I only want to talk to the people about something specific that have only opened in 30 days. So I use that as my basis first.
Yeah. And whether you guys use the exact, lead score flames, you use the principles in other ways as you're able to track them with your different segments and get them to the point. So,
well, but the point of it is, I think that there's so many ways to skin this cat using this software. It's pretty amazing what you can do with it. So,
and then you know what you get? A whole bunch of skinned cats.
That's
right. Never mind. Okay, and then let me get to the last part. This is just the close, and the close. People freak out about the close, and they think that the close is this big obnoxious thing that they can't get over. The close isn't, because as you guys know, it was the first two parts here where you spend your time. You spent the right time educating them. You were able to track and see who was ready, so you made the offer to those people, and then it just happens. The close goes out to the right people at the right time after they've been educated and know it's something they need and it's something they're interested in. It is because you've been able to follow all their behavior, and the close just happens. So that's the part of the attract, sell, wow. That's the sell, the educate, the offer, and the close, and just how you brilliantly can use Infusionsoft to automate all of those phases so that you do get money. This is what Jen's saying, is what she loves, getting up in the morning and seeing how much money she made overnight. And there's a little on your dashboard, right? Isn't that pops up there?
That's it. That's what we love. Show me the money.
Yeah, that's it. And when you get things in place, there's money.
But it's so great when it is I think then that's the part that I think until you experience it, you really don't get, these little successes, it's like when you set those funnels up and they work, and the automation side of it, I still surprise myself sometimes. And I mean, I'd say to him, I'm like, oh my gosh, it worked. Well, wait, why wouldn't it work? It's supposed to work, but it happens. And, it's, for an example, this is just a quick example, because this is 100% Infusionsoft, by the way. When we had our biggest month this past month, we ran a couple of webinars that were lead gen webinars. And in that webinar, I had in the funnel, I used an opt-in for a free report. Well, that report ended up really, really, I think, striking some nerves with folks, and 75% of the people that registered for the webinar took us up on the free report. This was 100% cold traffic to us. And of that 75%, 10% of the people bought a product from us before we ever did the webinar, because of the way I had built the campaign and I built the funnel, and it just led people through the path, and it was 100% automated revenue.
One of the people that we did the webinar with is also an Infusionsoft member, user, and she saw what we were doing, and she said, wait, tell me you converted 10% of the registrations into buyers before the webinar?
She kept seeing these affiliate sales coming through, and we hadn't even done the webinar yet, and she messaged me. She's like, why am I getting all these affiliate sales? And I was like, well, because I registered for people over here and I put this offer in front of them, and now you're making sales. And she was like, what? And so it's just those little things that it's not hard, but once you wrap your mind around it, that's what's hard for folks, I think, sometimes, is to just understand that it's step 1, step 2, step 3. It doesn't have to be. A biggest question that we get from people is, well, what different softwares do you have and do you put in place to be able to build your upsells and build your funnels and blah, blah, blah? And we don't. We use Infusionsoft.
Go ahead, sorry. We
use Infusionsoft, and we use WordPress or Lead Pages.
Yeah, and the other thing, though, Darin, here that's really interesting, we got to say this, is that when you make a funnel like this work that we're just talking about, you have to start with apples, offer apples, and deliver apples. you can't start with apples, offer oranges, and deliver pineapples. It doesn't work. So Jennifer's gotten really good at congruency too. And if there's an opportunity along the way to move somebody from apples to oranges, you let them make the choice, because you can do that inside a campaign. So they can tell you, well, I'm not really interested in apples, but boy, if you had oranges, I'd take those in a heartbeat. And guess what? We've got an opportunity for you to take oranges over here.
Okay, I'm getting a little hungry now with all that conversation.
There you go.
I need a smoothie, go to Jamba Juice or something. Well, while you were talking, I thought of a couple of things, because one of the beautiful things about Infusionsoft is it really lets people do things that they never even imagined before. People who are used to using MailChimp and Constant Contact, or Aweber, or Entreport, different things like that. And I tell them, like, no, look, you can do this, and they can't really see it. It's like once they get signed up and once they start using it, they're like, oh, look, there's this whole world out here. I didn't even realize this stuff is capable. That, you know, you could do this or that. And I was stuck in this little world back here and thought that little parameters, my little fences, were what the world was. I didn't realize all these different things that you can do. There's a whole industry of other people who've created stuff that works with Infusionsoft. There are hundreds of different plugins and apps that other companies have made. One of them, we mentioned the Snap, where you take the picture of the business card with your phone. You can integrate texting with your Infusionsoft. So if you want to have people text in to enter their information in, you can easily integrate texting. There's a new one, our favorite app of the day is one called Dialog R, D-I-A-L-O-G letter R, Dialogger. And this is brilliant at capturing people. You do like a little quiz on your website saying, hey, I'd love to be able to help you. Let me tell you, what's the most important thing for you? Maybe like an HR person or something like that. On keeping employees or someone's teamwork or whatever. So you do a little quiz, and they answer the little quiz, and it walks them through this little quiz, and it says, thanks so much. We've compiled your results. Give us your email so we can send you the results of your test. And you type your email address in, and now, of course, you captured their email address, and you brought them in with this really personalized quiz assessment that they took online that they enjoyed taking. And so Dialogger is another fantastic. There are just so many different ways for people to add on. I saw David's eyes. He's thinking like, oh, we got to start doing Dialogger. That might be a little,
down.
Yeah.
I know. I saw him writing.
Yeah, you guys will love it, I promise you. Okay, so we did the attract part, we did the sell part, now we did the wow part that you were talking about earlier. You think that this might be an area that you lack in. This is really the way to take your existing customers and turn them into return customers, into raving fans, into referrals, into testimonials, and to make your business grow. You've already gotten business one time. Now let's keep it going. The first part of that is to deliver and wow. There are all sorts of ways. I'm trying to skim through a lot of stuff here because I know we're running short here. But you can automate thank yous to wow somebody. Somebody signs up with something you do. You could automate like a $5 gift card that goes out. Automate a card that goes in the mail that looks like it's handwritten. We integrate with companies like Send Out Cards and Zen Direct and different companies. You could mail someone a box of brownies. They sign up for a $1,000 product of yours. A box of brownies could magically appear on their doorstep a couple days later. And you know that's going to make them say, wow, I love working with these guys. Nobody else sent me a box of brownies. This is fantastic. And it would be hard for you personally to make all those brownies and mail them out. So just automate it so that when X happens in the campaign, in the sequence, that boom, here's the little follow-up that gets triggered for that to happen. And it's just a way to take care of your customers so they feel loved and they feel valued. The next part is the offer more. Jen was talking about this, that the upsells and the cross sells and the downsells, and knowing what someone has done, knowing what someone needs, and you've helped them and satisfied that, whatever that is. Now you can track them. So if they bought this program from you, then you know that in 6 months they're going to need this program from you. Or maybe they didn't buy this program, so let's drop them down and offer them this other program. So find ways, if they're not just, this is the apples thing, if they're not just buying your apples, you got some oranges, you got some pineapples, you got some bananas, you got something they're going to need. You know, even if it's Cheetos or Chips Ahoy or something, somebody needs something, and you can offer them something more. Whether they purchase from you once or do a cross-sell, downsell, upsell, whatever kind of sell that might be. And then the last thing you got to do is you got to get referrals. I run into businesses all the time who have no system set up in place to get referrals or testimonials. And that breaks my heart. They've done business with someone loves them, they think they're the greatest thing in the world, and then it just evaporates. That's where it stops. And they don't follow up. This is where you need to have this automated as well. All these things that we're doing automation here. So when someone loves you the most, maybe they're just wrapping up with the program you sold them. Have an email, just trigger an email to go out and say, hey, are you having a great time? Are you learning something? Are you enjoying something? Who else do you know who could benefit from what we've been able to do for you? Or can you give us a couple words that we could put on our website? There's another program called So Tell Us. Do you like it? So tell us about it. So tell us. And I don't know if the integration is completely finished yet, but the idea is you automate an email to go out saying, hey, did you like whatever the program, the product, whatever it was that we sold to you? Just push this button on your computer and your web camera will record you doing a little video testimonial. And then it captures that and sticks it on your website, or could stick it in an email going out. And now you automatically are capturing video testimonials or just written testimonials or getting referrals from people. And that's the way to grow your business. Number one way to grow a small business is through referrals and through word of mouth. And that's what it is. So those are the 3 parts of Wowing. I was going to ask you, Dave and Jen, if you had any thoughts on that, but that's the area that you, I think, hinted at you might be a little lacking in the last part, the wow part, right?
I mean, I already have a huge amount of notes just from everything. We have a meeting tomorrow scheduled, right?
So the a couple of things that came across there that I wanted to make sure that we talked about was when you said that people sometimes can't imagine this until they see it and they understand what they can do. I was the opposite. For several years, I had imagined this, and because I had this IT background, I had to imagine and even drawn out this automated system that I really wanted to do in the background. And I tried everything. I tried half of those companies that you mentioned earlier, and I could never get the right company to do the right thing. So until I got to Infusionsoft, and then I realized, oh my gosh, it'll do everything I want to do and more. And so that's what's been really exciting for me about the automation piece, because I've known forever. We talk about simple, scalable, and sustainable. I know that without automation, I can do the simple, but I can't do the scalable, and I definitely can't do the sustainable. So those are the 3 things we have to focus on, and automation is the only thing that gives us that. And the other thing is, when you were talking about well, if you don't have apples, we got some oranges, and we got some pineapples, and we got some bananas. If I've only got apples, and I'm only selling apples because I'm new, that doesn't mean that I can't find out what the person who didn't want my apples wants next or wanted instead. And you can do that as well and then create that next product that they are requesting. And that can be automated. And I love the ability to actually have when we talk about conversations with people that are automated, the data that we get back is it's an incredibly efficient conversation, because we get the data back and we integrate with other pieces that tell us so much.
And as you're talking, I think all these thoughts are running through my mind. I must tell you, I remember the conversation I had with you. I remember exactly where I was when I was first talking to you about Infusionsoft. I was sitting in a hotel room in downtown Atlanta, and I was on the phone with you. I remember you saying, well, does it do this? I'm like, yes, it does that. And you're like, well, does it do this? I'm like, yes, it does that. And does it, like, yes, it does all those things, really. It's like, are you sure? Like, yes, take my word for it. It does all these things. I'm glad you got on board and finally found the solution. You were talking about the apples, and if you only have apples. Another alternative also is maybe you know somebody who sells tangerine, and then you can become an affiliate for that person. And Infusionsoft is one of the best ways to track affiliate partnerships that you really can't with some of these other programs. So if you're doing any kind of affiliate marketing, any kind of affiliate partnership and affiliate business, this is the tool that helps you manage that and grow that.
And I'll tell you one more thing that we're beginning to investigate that I'm really excited about, and that Jennifer and I haven't spent a lot of time with this, but we are really probably going to be one of the first people to do this in our group. We have a lot of instructors, former instructors who use Infusionsoft as well. And so we do a lot of partnership stuff together. We want to be able to give them our campaign to actually start selling our stuff in their system when they come to a product need that we fill, and we fill a lot. So if we can distribute our campaigns out to people, we're just going to have our own affiliates out there just selling the heck out of our stuff. So, and Infusionsoft does that.
Yeah. So if people are watching that, like, oh, I want a piece of that. I want to do that. All you have to do, you get signed up with Infusionsoft. Dave and Jen will push their campaigns into yours, help push the products that you can sell. And I don't know. I was going to say they'll be doing as well as you guys. I don't know, but maybe they'll even be doing better. Maybe they'll,
doing better.
We can always hope.
That's what
I was going to let you know that this sort of is the overview of Infusionsoft. Some of the things that you can do with Infusionsoft. I do get a couple complaints about Infusionsoft. One is that it's a little expensive, and another is that it's a little bit hard to learn. So I want to overcome both of those challenges. When someone signs up with Infusionsoft, I'm about to tell people something that did not exist 2 years ago when David signed up. He learned things and was trained a different way. But we understand that people are challenged sometimes. So we've gone out to our #1 onboarding partner. It's a company called Success Engine. These guys are phenomenal. And they have our highest stick rate of teaching people how to use Infusionsoft. So when you sign up with Infusionsoft, they get on the phone with you and on your computer, and the first thing they do is they map out what your business looks like. They create, hey, let's do some strategy. It sort of was like Jen was saying, it's figuring out some of that strategy. And so that's the first phone call. Then in addition, they do three follow-up calls with you, sessions with you, where they teach you how to build campaigns. They walk you through. They're going to teach you how to import names and how to tag people, how to target people, how to create some campaigns that are specific for what you might want to need, what might want to do. Then, and this is where it gets super fantastic, they are going to give you 5 campaigns that are built, and they're going to make sure 2 of those are up and running in your campaign. The first one that's going to be up and running is a lead capture campaign. So for those people who are saying, I need to capture more leads, I need to be set up better, I need to have better automation with this, this is all about you offering some lead capture, some lead magnet, and getting those names into your database. This campaign, normally if you hired someone to build a campaign like this for you, it'd be like $2,500. They do another campaign if you're going to do a webinar. So like maybe you're doing something like this. You're driving people to a webinar. You're going to talk about a program you've got. You're going to tell people how you can help them. You're going to expose them to something. This is a campaign that you can send out to people that gets them to sign up and make sure that they attend. There's another one where maybe you're going to do an on-phone consultation. They've got another campaign that's specifically for that, to get people on the phone. You're going to give them like a half hour, whatever, and get them to make sure they sign up. The third one, the fourth one, and this is the second one they will have up and running in your campaign, is what we call our Deliver and Wow campaign. This is just allowing you to offer whistles and bells and make people say, wow, that person is fantastic. I love working with her. She's like so on top of things that I feel great when I'm working with them. So this is a great campaign that offers some of that. And then we're partnering with them to do some webinar trainings so you can learn new ways to use Infusionsoft. And there is one more campaign that they will have in your account for you, which is a customer referral engine campaign. So as I mentioned earlier, #1 way to build a small business is through customer referrals. This is another campaign that will help you do that. And then before it's all over, they give you a game plan at the end. They say, okay, here's your 60-day game plan, and here's where you need to be, and here's what you need to be doing for the next couple of months. So this is invaluable training. This is the best training we have ever been able to offer. It is worth a ton of money. In fact, if you were adding up the numbers, the value of it is more than $16,000. So we asked them, we said, what kind of special deal can we do here? Obviously, we're not going to ask people to spend $16,000. So they said, okay, we could do a special offer of $5,000. And even the $5,000 would be a phenomenal deal for what you honestly are getting. All those campaigns, all that training, all that value, that would be a killer offer. And we said, like, we charged $5,000 in the past for our training, but we've been trying to reduce that number, so we can't really charge $5,000. And so this is a brand new thing that we are just, when I found out about this, I called David. I said, David, we got to do something because the value on this is phenomenal. And when I told him, he's like, you're absolutely right. We've got to do something on this right now. So
I didn't exactly say that. What I really said was, I can't believe I had to pay 3 times this.
Sorry about that. So I'll let people know that this is, I honestly don't know how long this is available. This is a temporary thing that we put into play, that a sort of a package deal that we've been able to work together and to reduce the price literally as the one-time Kickstart coaching setup implementation fee down to $6.99. And if people think this is some bogus inflated number or whatever, David, you're the first to admit you paid significantly more than $6.99 for your.
I did, and buddy, you owe me a bushel of these caramels that you make. So just don't worry about it. I'm collecting on that.
I know. I've had to brag.
You put a 1 in front of this 6. That's almost what I paid.
Yeah.
And we did not get nearly the kind of training.
We didn't get any campaigns.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
And I mean, people who signed up, back in the days when it was more expensive, like, yeah, it was great coaching and training. It was worth every penny I paid. But for people who are thinking, I don't know, this is a phenomenal price, especially when you consider the value of the training. As much as I'm excited about the $6.99, I am honestly even more excited about the training and the campaigns and the coaching that this outside company, the Success Engine, is going to do.
Well,
so
let me just say one more thing here, Darin, real quickly. I did pay a lot more than this, and I would pay it again today because of what this has already done for our business without the coaching and the training and all that you've added on here. So we just won't go back. This has been the best thing ever.
Well, and I'll tell you too, the other thing I find so valuable in this is when you have a campaign that is built and performs. I mean, I build campaigns every day, but I duplicate campaigns that I know the pieces are already there, the pieces work, and I just change out the structure of them. I don't look at a campaign every day and go, oh, I got to build this from scratch. I look at the stuff that has been successful, that I know works, and I just replicate it over and over. So it's like your people are getting the opportunity to have campaigns that are proven and successful that they can just start replicating. They don't have to build anything.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, really, this is, for anybody who has ever considered Infusionsoft, this is such a no-brainer.
Yeah.
And for the people who have never considered Infusionsoft, it is still a no-brainer. Because the obstacles I hear about, it's expensive. Well, not anymore. Look at this. For a fraction, I mean, for the amount of money you're making during the year, what is this one-time investment to get you set up and going? And then to have these tools that will really help you explode your business. So to boil it down, the one-time Kickstart is $6.99. Infusionsoft is a monthly payment. So every month you're with Infusionsoft, you just pay a monthly payment. We like to get people into, we have a lower price tier of $199 a month for our Essentials package. It lets you do everything except take payments. So it does everything but the e-commerce and take credit card transactions. When you are ever ready to do the credit card transactions, you can just call us and say, I want to upgrade to the credit card, to the e-commerce. And then you can start doing that. If you know right now, because I know a lot of people out there who are watching are ready to do that e-commerce, I can get you a killer deal on that as well. So if you want to start with the Essentials, $199 a month each month, and then you pay a one-time Kickstart of $6.99. That lets people get into Infusionsoft, and you're using it, and you're up and running for under $1,000. And then each month you're paying less than a couple $100. And for the amount of money that this is going to make you and help you earn in your business, this is just a small fraction. Jen and I were talking a little bit earlier today just about the whole concept of investing in a business and making the right choices to really help you grow your business, right?
Well, and the other thing that we want to talk about too is, I'm sorry, Jen, I'm going to come back to you in a second, but the other thing we want to talk about is the fallacy that other stuff is cheaper. Mm-hmm. That's what I thought when I first came in, because I think mine was with the e-commerce, it was $299 or $269 or something like that, around those numbers. And I thought, well, that's just a lot more than I'm paying now. But when I looked at Aweber and my cart and my other stuff that I was added on to that, I was already paying more than that. So when you get, people say, well, I can get Aweber for $19.95. You can, if it's under 500 people. How long do you want to be under 500 people?
Yeah, start adding contacts to your list with Aweber or MailChimp, and all of a sudden you're paying $170 a month in no time. We had
just for email management.
Yeah, we had a client that we really were helping set their business up, and we were doing a lot of research for him, trying to figure out what the best autoresponder service was. And it was just kind of like, after we went back to it, we were like, man, I had never really done the research before. And we started looking at the price of where he's wanted it. He had goals of where he needed his contacts, his number of contacts to be within a certain number of months. And as we started doing that, I mean, it was add a zero. It wasn't add $20. You know, it was, you're going from $19.99, and in 6 months' time, if we can drive the traffic for you that we're talking about, you're over $200 a month just for an autoresponder. And that's, and it wasn't a huge number. It was like 5,000 people.
With no automation.
Yeah, right. And if in fact you only have 500 people on your list, then you are doing it wrong. You aren't. There are clearly some other things that you're not doing. So get the right tools and get more than 500 people on your list, and make that grow. I'll mention the essentials part is the $199. If someone needs the e-commerce, I don't want to announce the number here because I don't know what I'm necessarily authorized discount, but I will tell people right now, get in touch with me, and David's going to hate me even more, because not only is the kickstart lower, anybody who needs the e-commerce, I will make sure you are paying less than David is paying.
God.
Darin, we got to talk.
Darin, every time you do this to me.
I know. I should have some mute button so you can't hear what I'm saying every once in a while.
Well, you do.
So I want to talk about something though that folks don't know, and that we don't talk about. We talk about a lot with our insiders, but that we've not really talked about publicly with a lot of other folks, because we are an Infusionsoft trusted advisor, or trusted partner, I guess is what we're called, advisor, one of those. And we have a dedicated rep, and I talk to my rep at least once a week. And what he does for me
is a technical rep.
Yeah, he's a technical rep, and he walks through campaigns with me so that I'm creating the best campaigns that I can. Then he tells me how I can share those campaigns with people who have purchased Infusionsoft through NAMS. So you are able to get campaigns that are the most successful campaigns that we run. You are able to come and talk to other Infusionsoft users in our group, which we have a ton of big proponents of that, especially in our insiders club of people that use it. And Mark, who is our rep, our technical rep, he and I talked last week, and we're going to start doing some regularly scheduled in-depth webinars every couple of months with our people who actually have purchased Infusionsoft through us, so that they're getting some additional coaching from Infusionsoft specifically. And, I have so many people all the time that ask me, oh, can you show me the way you do that? And we show in our Insiders Club meetings weekly. We'll get in the back end of our Infusionsoft, and I'll set a campaign up. And folks are like, oh my gosh, I didn't know you could do it that simply. So people really do get some benefit by purchasing the program through us, because they get our expertise as well.
Yeah, and Mark is a super smart guy, and so you guys get to pick his brain, and then you get to pass on everything he shared with you to everybody else in your group, so they can learn the exact same stuff. If anybody else signs up with Infusionsoft, you can call into our customer service, and they'll walk you through, and they'll talk to you stuff, and you'll talk to super smart people. Sure. But Mark is he's the ninja.
He's the yoga guy. Yeah.
And Mark's the guy that I go to and I say, I really want to do this, but I can't quite figure out how to do it. And he'll say, okay, let me think about it. And the next day, he's like, hey, open up your Infusionsoft account. I mapped out a campaign for you. See what you think. And
yeah, well, Jennifer's being modest here too, because sometimes she goes to Mark and says, I've done this campaign, and he will say, holy crap, how did you do that? And so you've got a little good thing going on here. Now, one of the other things I want to bring up is that we are, and this is not in stone, we've talked to Mark, and Darin, I don't know that you know this yet, but after ICON, in Phoenix,
ICON is the big annual user conference for Infusionsoft, like early spring.
where you get a lot of training and a lot of exciting new stuff there about what's going on with Infusionsoft. After ICON, we're actually going to take our group that buys with us to Infusionsoft headquarters and get a day of training there with Mark and Michael. Mark and Michael with a Y. So,
yeah.
So that's going to be an awesome opportunity for people to really get in tight with Infusionsoft.
Yep.
That's phenomenal. I didn't know that. I didn't.
Yeah.
You know, they don't. Just so you know, they don't do that for people. You know, you guys pulled some strings to make that happen.
Yeah, I'm trying to get the conference room booked there, so that's kind of where we are with just trying to get the dates nailed down and everything. So yeah, I mean, our folks are going to get to come to the epicenter of Infusionsoft.
That's really cool.
Yep.
I'll let people know that the way to sign up, because hopefully at this point you're at home, you're thinking like, okay, this is it. This is when I need to sign up. I got to get using this. I got to make this happen. This is some stuff I want to make sure it works for people. So I want to get on the phone with someone. I want to find out, that we can make it work with whatever your database size is. I want to find out what your needs are. So I'd love to have a personal conversation with you. So just email me or give me a call, and we'll talk about what can work for your business, and we'll get you all signed up. And because really, I mean, this is the deal of a lifetime. This is a no-brainer for anybody who is. If you're on the call, then you're in this line of work. You're doing the same kind of things that we're all talking about. This is the tool that's going to help you really explode things and take your business to a new level. So email me, give me a call, and we can walk through that and find out what works for you.
So that's Darin.Adams@Infusionsoft.com.
That's correct.
The phone number is 385-439-9596.
Last time I checked.
Okay.
Yep. And so, one last thing, because I do get a lot of questions about this too. I wish, even though I'm glad that, we started with Infusionsoft where we did because our business had grown enough, I also at the same time think about what would have happened to our business if we had been able to start with Infusionsoft in the beginning, because kind of trying to go back, it's like going in now, we've had so many different things in place in the past that it takes a lot of work. And if I had to do it again, I would fight you, Dad, tooth and nail. And I'm not sure I would have had to fight you. I mean, I know hindsight's 20/20, but coming in and looking at in the beginning of the business and starting the business out and really trying to grow it.
This would have been our primary investment.
This would have been an investment, I think, that would have carried us, and it would have solved a lot of heartache.
Yep.
And it would have solved a lot of kind of the not managing our customers and our customers' expectations.
Yep.
I think we could have managed our customers better in terms of how they saw us and what they got from us long term. And I think we would have retained customers longer had we had something like this in place.
Yep, I agree. Absolutely.
Yeah. It's not so much the cost of doing the business, but at this point, for a lot of people, it's like, what's it costing you not getting the right tool?
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely.
I mean, seriously, a year down the road, not just how much better could you be, but if you don't get this, where are you going to be then too? Yeah. Which is a sort of a painful question to ask. So,
Darin, this was awesome. I appreciate your help on this, and appreciate your time. I'm always good to talk to you.
Oh, I always love talking to you guys. You guys are inspiring. I love hearing what you're doing, and you're inspiring for the people who follow you. You're inspiring for me because I love seeing all the work you're doing. So it always makes me feel better. And if people want to talk to you first about Infusionsoft, people can do that as well. You can just funnel them my way, or they just contact me directly. There's my email and the phone number. That's my cell number, so you can even text me too. So I'll just look forward to helping anybody I can in any way.
Okay. All right.
Awesome.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, you guys.
Talk to you soon.
Yeah.
Bye.